up, you guys? If you're new here, hello. My name is Brittany. Clearly, I swear in my video, so let's just get over that. So in today's video, we're basically going to do a follow-up Friday. So what this is going to be is a follow-up video from this haul. I'll leave it linked right here. So this is going to be all the stuff that I picked up about a month ago from Anastasia Beverly Hills, Baddie B Lashes, Ulta, and Sephora. So this was a pretty big haul, so we have a lot to go through, so we're just going to jump right into it. So the first thing that we'll talk about is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Norvina palette. Now I was going to do a designated video on this palette, but I just decided not to because by the time I actually used it, there were so many videos out there, and then I did mention it in the haul and I knew I wanted to do these types of videos, so I figure we'll just talk about it in here. So my overall thoughts on this palette. This is not my favorite Anastasia palette. Simply because the bottom shadows, like, I'm gonna say mattes, but they're not all matte. Like, they are not all true mattes. Like, some of them have little specks of shimmer in them. So I'm just going to refer to this whole bottom row because I feel like it's consistent between the whole bottom row. When you apply these to your eyes, they do not look like the shades in the palette. Like, I feel like something in the formula is not the same as like the Modern Renaissance or the Soft Glam. Something is definitely different and I don't really like that. Like, I feel like everything pulls extremely cool tone on me, and just I guess whenever I use this palette, the look that I had in mind, it didn't end up coming to life with this palette. Like, it always ended up turning out different than I anticipated it to, and I just felt like it was a little bit more difficult to work with than the Modern Renaissance or Soft Glam palette. Like, I fucking love those palettes, but the metallics in this are also not my favorite either. I feel like they are a lot more chunky and they're not as flattering on the eyes. Modern Renaissance is my favorite palette that they have come out with, so this one just really didn't do it for me. I was expecting a lot more, and it just, to me, was very inconsistent, and it was just a lot more difficult to work with. I love the packaging on it. I don't really love like the suede material, but I love how sleek this looks. I love the overall aesthetic of this because these types of shades on my eyes make my eyes really pop. It's just the formula I wasn't really crazy about. Like, don't get me wrong, I have done looks that I really do love, but I always had to pull in other products. Like, one of the most recent looks that I did, I absolutely loved, and you guys actually loved it too. I will leave a picture on the screen of what look I'm talking about. That was using this palette. It's just, I felt like it was just, for what it just was way more work for me to get that type of look. Like, that's like my go-to type of look, and I just feel like I had to really work with the products to get them to look the way that I wanted to. So overall, this was a miss for me. I would pass on it, honestly. I would definitely purchase the Modern Renaissance or Soft Glam over this one, but I'm just so disappointed because, like I said, shades like these on my eyes usually make my eyes go crazy. So overall, I wasn't thrilled with it. It wasn't like a complete fail, but it just was not my favorite from Anastasia. I just feel like something was very different with this palette. And I never got like Subculture or anything, so I don't know if any of that, I don't know if it's similar to that or anything like that. So that's just my overall opinion on the Norvina palette. So next thing is going to be these Baddie B Lashes. These are so fucking beautiful. I actually wore these in my last video. I'll leave a card up here if you want to see them on my eyes. So I love these. I think they're super easy to apply to the eye. They do have a thicker band, so usually thicker band lashes are a lot more difficult to apply, but these ones aren't. Like, these ones were super easy. They're super fluttery. I got the style SUGARBABY. Be alarmed when you tag SUGARBABY on Instagram. You are going to have people messaging you about being a SUGARBABY. Just throwing that out there. These have the most beautiful packaging. Like, I love that it's like magnetic. Love the packaging on it. I think it's super different. It looks beautiful in my drawer, so I really love that. But the biggest thing that I love about these is they are more dramatic style lashes, but they are so easy to apply. Like, usually thicker band lashes like this, like, I'll take them out of here so you can get a better look at what they look like. Usually lashes like this are a lot more difficult to apply for beginners because it does have the thicker band, and normally you do have to have like wing liner on for these to really look right. These ones you don't. Like, I applied these with no liner whatsoever and they still looked beautiful, so I would definitely recommend these. I haven't tried any of the other styles, so the style SUGARBABY I highly recommend. I think it's a beautiful lash. And these are mink lashes for $19. Like, usually mink lashes are like $30, so I think that's a really good price point as well. So I will definitely be getting more of these. And I've used these several times already, and they still look like they're brand new. So really love these lashes. I think Jenny69 did an amazing job on those, so kudos to her. So the next thing I actually don't have because I've used most of it. So the Belif Aqua Land playset, I think it's called. This is the little gift set that had the full size of the Aqua Bomb. It had a Hungarian water essence and it had the moisturizing eye balm. I actually have both of those in my empties bin right now. So I've used the Aqua Bomb completely and I used the Aqua Bomb eye balm. I absolutely loved the eye balm and I love the Aqua Bomb. That's why I purchased that set. I don't love the Hungarian essence. I don't know the exact name of it, but I don't love that, so I put that in my giveaway drawer. But the moisturizing eye balm, I thought it was so moisturizing on my eyes. It was really helping with the texture on my under eyes, so that's actually the next eye cream that I'm going to purchase probably at the Sephora VIB sale in November. So that is definitely a love product. And Aqua Bomb, I purchased that set because of that. So I already know that I love that, so I just wanted to mention that. I actually mentioned that in my last video too. Like, that was a repurchase for me, but it's just I found that moisturizing eye balm or the Aqua eye balm. I don't know the exact name of it, but it was so good. I absolutely loved it. So the next thing is going to be the Glam Glow Instamud 60-second pore refining treatment. This is the product that I haven't even used yet. So I don't know if I like this or not. I'll keep you guys posted if I decide to use it in the future. It's just one of those products that I had it in my drawer to use it like before I put on makeup. It's just something I never thought to use. So I have not tried this yet, so I'll keep you guys posted when I do try that. Now we'll talk about the Too Faced Just Peachy Mattes eyeshadow palette. So this is actually what's on my eyes right now. I basically use these two rows and the shade right up here for my eyes today. This palette is beautiful. I've used this several times since I got it. These are so easy to work with. They blend out so easily and it smells like peaches, so that's just an added bonus for me because it doesn't, like, you don't smell peaches all day on your eyes or anything like that. It's just the palette smells so good. So I have been really loving this. These aren't anything like super original for my collection. That's why I never purchased it in the first place. I only bought this because it was on sale, but I am so glad that I did because this is just like a go-to matte palette for me now. Like, this has all the shades that I would use on like a day-to-day basis. So I really love this. I think it is well worth the $22 that I paid for it, but I would honestly pay full price for this because I think these are well worth the price. Very beautiful eyeshadows and I really love the color story of that palette. So sticking with Too Faced and Peach Collection, we'll talk about these. I think these are called the Peach Kiss lipsticks. I actually ended up returning two of them and I ended up keeping the shade Got Peach and Peach Beach. These are these two right here. I'm wearing the shade Peach Beach on my lips right now, and then in my last video I'm wearing the shade Got Peach. The shade Sex on the Peach is the one that I had before. So the reason that I returned the other two were I felt like the formula was different. So I ended up returning Make Me Blush and Sunday Funday. They just really emphasized my lip lines and they just didn't look cute. So I'm wearing the shade Peach Beach on my lips right now. I think it is beautiful. It doesn't emphasize my lip lines whatsoever, and then I do have it topped with the new Fenty Beauty lip gloss, which is fire. Like, this stuff is so beautiful. So that's for another video, I think. But overall, I do really love these ones. I just feel like you need to be careful with the formula because I do feel like it's really inconsistent depending on what shade you get. So I would highly recommend the shade Sex on the Peach, Got Peach, and Peach Beach. They are really matte, really beautiful, really comfortable on the lips. So I do really love these ones, and then the other ones were just misses, so I just didn't really need them in my collection, so I did return those. So the next thing is going to be the Dior Backstage Glow Face Palette. I still have this in the box, but I have used it and I think it is so freaking beautiful. Like, this is one of my favorite highlighter palettes. Like, I use the shit out of this shade right here. Like, these two shades are the shades that I use the most. I've used this as like a blush topper, which it can be a little bit much if you're not careful with it. So just if you put it over as like a blush topper, just be very careful, especially if you have skin like me where I have textured skin. That's the only reason why I really say be careful with it, because it really can emphasize your texture. So these two shades on the top are amazing. I think they're absolutely beautiful, so I would definitely recommend this palette. Overall, yes, it's expensive, but I feel like you get a really good variety of colors. Like, you could use it as like a bronzer topper, a blush topper, highlight, like, you could just use everything in this palette, I feel like. I'll probably never really use the darker shade unless I'm like super tan, but overall, I think for the value, I love the packaging. I just feel like it was a really beautiful palette, and I was just happy to see Dior do a face palette, and I actually have been eyeing the contouring palette, but I don't know if I want to get that one or not. Let me know if you guys have used that one. Let's talk about this foundation real quick. The Dior Backstage Face and Body Foundation, I think this is called. I hate this. I do not like this foundation at all. And I see so many people are obsessed with it and it looks amazing on their skin. Like on me, it looks like the Unique foundation. And if you guys have seen my videos before, you know I do not like that foundation at all. Like it just sits on top of the skin. It's super unflattering on me and it moves so easily. Like I did my whole face earlier today with this foundation to give it like a one last shot type of deal. And when I was doing my eyebrows, like my hand was sitting on my face, lifted my finger up and my whole nose needed to be all redone. So I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? So I took it all off. Like, I do not like this foundation. I'm so glad I didn't get a full size. This was like the trial size that came with my order. So I'm very happy that I did not get a full size. So all you people that love this, I'm jealous because I really wanted to love this. I love the scent of Dior products too. Like they just smell like so bad and bougie. But overall, this was just a huge miss for me. So I was really let down by that. So I would definitely not recommend that. Not my favorite foundation whatsoever. So next thing we'll talk about is this makeup sponge. So I use this on my Insta story, just like randomly getting ready, and I was like tagging brands and all the products that I was using. And I forgot to tag this and everybody was messaging me, what is that makeup sponge? So this is the Face and Body Sponge by Real Techniques. I love the original sponge from Real Techniques, but I love this one even more. I love how big this is and how fast it makes my foundation. I even use this for concealer, but I feel like if you're a cream bronzer type of bitch or like a liquid highlighter type of bitch, I just got lipstick all over my finger. This is not the best sponge for that. Like every time I use cream bronzer, I have to use a more precise sponge or a smaller sponge for a more precise application. So this I feel like is mostly ideal for foundation and concealer, but I fucking love it. I think it's one of the best sponges that I've used. It definitely soaks up some product, but I feel like it's pretty durable for a sponge. Like I've watched this after every time that I've used it. I've used this probably like 20 times within the past month or so, and I just love it. It's held up really nicely. It's very similar to the original, so if you've tried the original before, you'll probably like this as well. It's just way more convenient. Like look at the size of the sponge. It's huge. So I love it. Would definitely recommend it. It's just if you want a more precise application, you're going to want a smaller sponge in my opinion. So next thing will be the concealer I've been obsessed with. This is the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpted Concealer. So last year I posted my Best in Beauty 2015. What fucking year are we in? So last year I posted my Best in Beauty 2017 and I tagged the Tarte Shape Tape in that. If I could go back and do that video again, I would, just because the more that I used Tarte Shape Tape, the more that I hated it, because I think I just kind of gave into the hype and was like, oh my god, it's so full coverage, oh my god, it's amazing. When I went back and looked at like my pictures, my videos and stuff, it looked so heavy on my under eyes and it emphasized all the texture of my under eyes. This is what I wanted Tarte Shape Tape to be. So now when I look at Tarte Shape Tape, I'm like, no, I don't like that at all. This is so bomb. This is so flattering on the under eyes. Like I have texture in my under eyes, I have wrinkles, I have imperfections. Texture is the biggest thing that I have. This just makes everything look so nice, but it is so full coverage. This is what I have on my under eyes right now. And I've been wearing my makeup for, how many hours have I been wearing this? I've been wearing this for probably 6 hours and I have not touched up or anything. Like it does crease if you don't set it. So I always recommend setting concealer. That's just my personal preference, but it is not creasing at all. I think it looks beautiful. It makes my eyes look fresh and awake. I just really love this. Like it's just so flattering. That's what I look for when I buy concealers now. Like they need to be flattering on textured under eyes, or like really just not emphasize any texture, wrinkles, or anything like that. And this one doesn't, and it has full coverage. This is probably the most full coverage concealer that I have besides Tarte Shape Tape. I personally don't need like a crazy amount of coverage because I don't have a lot of darkness or anything. But when I put that on, I'm just like, god damn, like it is so full coverage. So I've been really loving that one. Now I'll talk about the Flower Beauty, what is this called? The Shimmer and Strobe Highlighting Palette. This is the highlight that's on my skin right now. This is so fucking beautiful. I heard Casey Holmes rave about Flower Beauty, like this product especially, but I've heard her rave about so many Flower Beauty products, so I wanted to pick some up. So I got this when they were buy one, get one half off. So I love all of these shades in this palette. I feel like this one is most ideal for like fair skin tones. It is pretty light on me, but I can use all of these, so I really love that. I feel like if you're darker in complexion, this is the one that'll only really work for you. Maybe the pink, but this one will probably be way too light. But they just give you a really beautiful highlight. Like it's a beaming highlight. It's so good for the drugstore. I was really impressed with this because I really wasn't expecting a ton from Flower Beauty just because, I don't know why. I just never had used the brand before, but now that I've used these products, like the next few products I'm going to talk about, I'm like obsessed with Flower Beauty. So the next thing I'll talk about is the Flower Beauty Mix and Matte Lip Duo. I wore this, I don't know if I wore this in one of my videos, but this is just a beautiful lipstick. If I wore it in a video, I'll leave it up here. This is just a beautiful lipstick, and I said in my haul video that I didn't think I was going to be crazy about the lip gloss. I was so wrong on that, because when you swatch it on your hand, it looks more metallic. I'll give you guys a little swatch here. It looks more metallic when you swatch it on your hand, but on your lips, it just looks so beautiful. Like, it draws like the perfect amount of attention. It doesn't give you like a super glossy wet lip, but it just gives you like that pop right in the center. It's not metallic. It's just like a really subtle gloss, I think. But the shade on this is everything. This is such a beautiful shade. And I love the fact that you get like basically a full-size lipstick and a lip gloss, and it's I think $10.99. And if you buy the regular bullet lipstick from Flower Beauty, I think they're like $1 less. So I would definitely recommend going this route, because 2 products in one, why not, for $1 more. That I think is such a beautiful product. I really love it, and it's super comfortable on the lips. It doesn't emphasize your texture or your lip lines or anything like that. Like, I'm all about the texture. I got texture all over this face, so I'm always trying to steer clear of that. So next thing I'll talk about is the Flower Beauty, what is this called? The Light Illusion Full Coverage Concealer. This wasn't my favorite. My friend Emily is the one that made me purchase it. Well, she didn't make me, but she was like, Brittany, you need to try this. It's amazing. She was the one that was raving about it, and it is super full coverage. It is a beautiful looking concealer. This is the shade Light, I believe. Yes, this is the shade Light. So this is what the shade looks like. To me, on my under eyes where I have wrinkles and texture, it wasn't my favorite. Like, I definitely prefer the Born This Way over this, but I feel like for a drugstore option for a full coverage concealer, this definitely hits it. But on my texture and wrinkles and stuff, I felt like it emphasized it a little bit, but overall it wasn't a bad concealer. I've tried concealers that are way worse than this one. It was just like not a hit, not a miss. It was just right in between. So I hope I explained that decent enough. But I overall like the Too Faced Born This Way one over the Flower Beauty one. So the next thing will be the Flower Beauty Light Illusion Foundation. So I'm like torn, because I did love how my skin looked with this foundation, but the match was totally off. Like, this is way darker than my skin right now, and just the shade range in this is terrible. Like, it has the worst shade range. If they were to expand the shade range, I'd be all in. This is such a beautiful foundation, but it's just the color match is just not there. Like, when I wear this, it's way too dark for me. In my last video, I'm wearing it, but it's just like, you guys can look at my face then and now, they're way different. This is more of what my skin tone should be right now, but this is a little bit more yellow than I would want to be. This is the ColourPop No Filter foundation. But overall, I thought this was a good foundation. It wasn't my favorite at the drugstore, but it wasn't bad either. I felt like it made my skin look beautiful. I actually had a lot of people asking what foundation I was wearing when I wore this, so overall, I don't feel like it's bad, but the shade range does need a lot of work, so that's my overall thoughts on that. So next we'll cover the Makeup Revolution Fast Base Stick Foundation. I have the shade F10 and F13. I think these are beautiful, and I am actually really glad that I tried these, because these actually introduced me to the world of stick foundations. I've always been a liquid foundation type of person, and as soon as I tried these basically because I kept seeing videos about how they were like the most full coverage foundation or like the most full coverage stick foundation. I don't think they're super full coverage, but I do think they are like a medium coverage but buildable to full. I don't think these are as long wearing, but I ended up purchasing the Hourglass foundation stick because of these, because I really love the way that my skin looked with these. I do feel like the Hourglass one is like more tough. I keep looking over there because it's right there. I feel like the Hourglass one is more tough and not as creamy, but I feel like my skin looks better with the Hourglass one on. But I do feel like these are a beautiful like beginner into cream foundation. They are super creamy. They blend out really well. They look really beautiful on the skin. I just don't feel like they're as long wearing as the Hourglass one. So I would still really recommend these. I use the shade F10 for all over my face and F13 as like a cream bronzer. And I love them. I think they're beautiful products. They're super inexpensive too. And you can usually get this brand for like buy one, get one half off at Ulta. So I would definitely recommend checking them out. I think they're beautiful. So next thing is going to be the Urban Decay Born to Run palette. I've been using the shit out of this. I've actually been having a hard time not using this palette because I really wasn't expecting too much of this palette, but every single look that I've used, I think came out absolutely stunning. Like, I've used the darkest shades, I've used the orangey shades, I've used the pinky shades, I've used almost every shade in this palette. I haven't used them all, but every single look that I've done with this, I think looked amazing and it was effortless. It just worked really well. I feel like it's really beginner friendly. I love the packaging. It has a massive mirror. This is the biggest thing, that it can actually like completely flip over. The packaging on this was everything as well. This is one of my favorite products that Urban Decay has honestly launched. I think they did such a good job with this palette and it's perfect for fall. So it's still relatively new, so I know you guys can still get it. I don't know if it's like a permanent item or if it's limited. This palette has honestly been my favorite between this one, the Norvina palette, and the Peachy mattes. I just think this has such a good variety in it. The metallics in it are amazing. The mattes in it are amazing. Like, every shade that I've used in it is amazing, and I feel like it's perfect for winter and fall. So would definitely recommend this. Yes, it's more expensive, but I feel like it's definitely worth the price for sure. Okay, last makeup product is going to be the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. I honestly don't really understand the hype with this. I get it. It's because it has a really nice mister. Like, that mist is everything. I love the scent of it, but I don't feel like this does anything as far as making my makeup last longer. And that's really one of the biggest things that I look for with a setting spray. Not to just like make all of my makeup melt into the skin and like kind of make me look less powdery, but really setting my makeup to last all day is really important. And I just don't really feel like this does it for me. If anything, I feel like I use way more product than I need to because my face doesn't feel like it's wet. I don't know, it's really weird. Like, I just kind of use this and I'm like, okay, I still feel like I need something else to make everything last longer. I don't know. I don't know if it's just like me having like a bad taste in my mouth over this brand right now. I don't know. I just haven't really noticed a groundbreaking difference to hear all these influencers talking about it. So that's just my opinion. Is it's nice for like setting the face as far as like making your face not look as powdery, but I feel like as far as making your makeup last longer, I don't feel like this does anything. And if anything, I think this makes me look more like dewy or sweaty looking than I would typically like to. So this for me, I won't repurchase it. So that's all I really have to say on that. And then the last two things that I'll talk about are the Batiste Dry Shampoos. I picked up the shade Beautiful Brunette and Brilliant Blonde. I am so glad that I tried these because I always loved the Batiste Dry Shampoo, but I hated how it always had that white cast in my hair. And I've been using this one mostly. Like, I'll use this if I feel like my hair just needs like an oomph, but this is what I use if my hair is just looking oily or if I want a little bit of volume on my roots. This is the one I've been using the most and I love it. I love the fact that I don't have the white cast. I love this brand especially because it really feels like it takes care of my oils, and that's the biggest thing that I have. I have like a greasy ass scalp, and this is really the only dry shampoo that I've ever tried that doesn't make my hair feel dirty, but it takes care of the oiliness that I have going on in my hair. So that's going to be everything that I wanted to follow up on from my Ulta haul / Sephora / Baddie B Lashes / Anastasia Beverly Hills. So that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this follow-up Friday. If you guys like these, let me know in the comments down below if you guys want me to keep doing these or not. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope to see you guys in my next one. Peace!